Hey guys, it's Fallendice, and welcome to episode 26 of Fallendice Plays Better Than BuildCraft. And today we're going to get away from the factory, and we're going to start on our new mob trap. This is going to be a pretty big build. I'd like to do a little more over at the breeding and harvesting facility and the basement, but until we get our new blocks and until they update, we'll just continue moving on and doing stuff in other areas. The first thing we want to do though is, as you can see, the bottom of the quarry very uneven the way it filled it in. So what we're going to do, taking like a trick from Ethos. So we'll go ahead and we're going to basically fill this entire bottom up to the one block above the top bedrock layer with water. And this is going to take a while, but it'll end up looking nice. And then we'll end up putting lava above it, and we'll just keep backing off, picking up the lava, replacing it as we move along. It'll turn the water into smooth stone, and that'll give us a nice level base down there. But we'll get the bottom done, and then what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time over in our creative world, because my first thing is I'm going to have to try out, there's a couple ideas I have for my base system here. And to kind of give you an idea of what I'm planning on doing here, you can see, right now we're divided in 4 sections. And not that each one will be bigger or as big as these sections are, but I want to have 4 spawning areas. So it'll be like 4 corners, kind of out towards the middle of each of these 4 areas of the quarry. And they'll all be spawning, and I think they'll be far enough away that they shouldn't be affecting each other as far as spawn rate numbers. Have to do research to make sure that all of them are close enough that I can stand in the middle of the system and cause them to continue to spawn. Then what we'll do is underneath each one of those, it'll be a drop. We'll have a vine catch at the base so that no matter which level of the spawning area they fall from, they're not going to be taking damage, because we want to be able to make it so that if we choose to, we can go ahead and turn it into a mob farm, an experience farm as well. Because the reason for that being, we'll have to see how well this works. I mean, if it works really well and these things are just dropping crazy amounts of mobs from there, then there's no reason why we shouldn't go ahead and use it to gain some experience. So we'll check that out. There's 2 different types of setups I want to use. One of them is using pressure plates across it, and I'll show you this in just a sec, but using pressure plates with the water at the end to wash them across. And then the other one would be actually using pressure plates with pistons and an opening in the middle between the two. And the reason why I'm not sure which one is going to work better is because of the fact that while the water is activated, you can't really spawn on the pad. So I don't know how much downtime is going to be from once it starts to wash them away till the water goes away and they can start spawning again. Whereas with the other ones, you could have 5 mobs spawn on one pad area and it just gets pushed out by the piston. There's no downtime. So I'll build both systems, and then I'll let them run together in our creative world with a death drop, and then we'll just see which one spawns the most, and then with that we'll pick that. But then with all 4 of the areas, as they come down, I want to connect all 4 of them into one single receptacle in the middle. And again, we'll be using the mob's AI against them, so that we wanted to come towards me. And then with that one area in the middle, then we'll have that final drop where we can basically set it to either death or experience. We'll do a little planning, little research. This is definitely not going to be a single episode. This is going to take a few episodes, which will be kind of fun. A big project like that can be exciting and interesting. Plus, then I don't have to worry about trying to condense it so much that I'm missing parts of the build just because I'm trying to fit it into a single episode. So, yep, that is the goal. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let's head over to our creative world, and then we'll check out the 2 designs we have in mind for this. So, I'll be right back. Well, it would appear we don't need to go to such crazy and painful lengths to do what I wanted to do. Um, Thanks to the wonderful world of BuildCraft. I had forgotten that they have such a thing as the filler. Never played with it before. Had to do a little research to figure out how it works, but actually it's kind of cool. Um, and it's not too difficult to build. I already had all the wonderful materials standing by. So all it is, you got the 2 ink sacks. So it's kind of similar to our other, the builder and the library and all that kind of stuff. So we have 2 ink sacks, 2 yellow dies, 2 golden gears, a landmark, a chest, and an iron chip set. Oops, reverse those. There we go. And we now have a filler. And I'm going to kind of show you what I've discovered so far. Actually, let's go to our creative world so we can kind of play around this. I'll show you what I discovered here. So let's go ahead over there. I'll be right back. Alright, so this is actually my original quarry I built when I was practicing with the quarries on my creative world. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pop up a little bit here. And we're going to fill in a section of this. So we'll kind of clear out some of our wall here. Give us some space to work. And I'll show you a couple of the different things that the filler mod can actually do. So the first part is we're going to have to use our landmarks again. So we'll go ahead and set it here, here, there, and there. So once again, we're defining our grid. And actually, with that staying, I'm going to have to actually go down a little bit lower because we still need to put our filler in on that bottom corner, just like we had to do with like the builder and all those other cool little BuildCraft toys. So we'll go ahead and clear all this out here. Okay. So then we go ahead and click on this, and we're going to get our initial part of our area. Click that, and that gives us the rest of it. So this is what we're trying to fill in, just this layer. And the reason why we're doing that is because when we go back to our main world, we're only trying to fill in that bottom section. We don't need to fill the whole quarry in, not to mention that would take an awful lot of resources. So we're just doing the part of it. So, now that we got that done, we go ahead and we put in our builder. And it's going to be placed in over here. And we got our section here showing this is where we're going to be building our, or filling in. Now we need to add in a engine, and then lastly we'll get a switch. Now when we initially turn this on, even though we're running, nothing is going to happen. And that is when we open this up, we have 2 panes. So here's where we're going to tell it what to do. Now if I were to take glass, and let's say we'll go ahead and put it all the way around and on the inside. Now what we're telling it now is that we want inside of this section to be empty. Our next thing is, because we're going to be putting in stone, so we'll put stone in here. Now we'll go ahead and clear the glass out. The next part is you're going to need bricks. Now we can do 2 things. If we just put bricks around the outside, it's going to build us walls. So it's going to do the bottom layer, the top layer, and all the side layers, so it'll actually leave us with like a hollow center layer. So we want the entire thing filled. So if we do that, instead of room, now we've got fill. So it's basically going to... Oh crap, I didn't want to do that. So you can see you can actually change the material. It'll just fill with whatever you have inside there. So now it's going to do the entire space that we have marked off. And then once it gets to the end of that, it'll shut off. So all we need to do is go back to our world, take our filler, an engine, and a few markers, and we can go ahead and have it automatically fill in with our smooth stone. And we have a lot of that over there. We have our crucibles, which are set to make smooth stone without having to use any coal or anything. But we also have quite a bit of stone already in those crucibles. One other thing I wanted to show, and this is something that I kind of discovered while I was looking at this. If you want to know how far out your your marker can go. It used to be if you just placed one and then clicked it, or went to an empty hand and clicked it, it would put out a laser going in all directions showing you how far it could go. That doesn't happen anymore. However, if you place a redstone torch next to it, now it does. So basically, you can see how far you can actually go as, for, say, like we're trying to do a giant quarry. Now I know exactly how far I could go. So basically, if I come all the way to the end as far as the blue laser goes, and of course I'm going to have to place some kind of blocks underneath because this is actually a bit high. So we'll just kind of come up here. Alright, I think, well, that was good. We're right underneath it. And then we come back and place another one on that spot. When we right click it, it should give us the red all the way across. There we go. And that's the farthest limit that we can place this. So that will come in handy for some of our other projects that we do. Our next step will be to head back to our quarry, and we'll go ahead and use this and the redstone to see how far we can go on our first section. And we'll set our builder up to start filling in. And like I said, our main goal is to get that bottom layer filled in, and then we'll figure out which of our designs we're going to use, because I'm kind of excited. Every time I can do something new in BuildCraft, it gets me excited. So that kind of new shiny things, my designs for the different mob traps are going to have to wait for just a moment. So anyway, I will be right back. All right, so we're back. We got some redstone. Should be able to drop it right there. No. Let's see if I drop it there. There we go. All right, good. And the reason we're doing this is we're going to have to do more than one take on this to get it all the way filled in. But there's nothing to say why we can't. Whoa. We can't get as much the first time through. So let's see. Click that. And then I just need to go all the way to the beginning. Click it again. And then dig down. And hopefully there's not bedrock on the corner one. And see if I click here. I'm going to have to go all the way over there. Alright, so we got our first area done, and you can see it's actually went quite a ways, so this should do a pretty decent job as far as the beginning section of it. We'll go ahead and put you in, and I think we'll put the two engines like this, so they'll be... I just like having them inline. I think it seems to do a better job. Alright, we got our switches in place, got coal in both of our engines. So we'll go ahead, fill up our bricks in here, and load up the stones. And we'll go ahead and turn her on. And if we look in here, we should, yep, alright, there we go. It definitely does seem to be going slower, but I'm not too worried about that. So, I think we'll hang out here. Actually, I'm going to put a little lighting just to keep myself safe. And am I even... Dang it. Too much time spent in the test world. Really, if I could ask for one thing for Jeb to fix for Minecraft right now, well, I shouldn't say if I could ask for one thing, that would be it. But probably one of my biggest things would be to raise the level that all the flat test worlds are built on, because I cannot stand those slimes jumping around. It is so annoying. But that's alright. Alright, we've already gone through a whole stack, so it's definitely going faster than I would ever be able to do this. So we'll let this go. And now it's time to go and play with some designs for our mob trap here. Let's head over to our test world and let's see what we can come up with. Alright, let's see how quickly I can forget that I've just gone back to peaceful. I love being able to fly again. Alrighty, let's see. I don't think I thought I did. I think maybe I had done a little planning somewhere off one of these directions. Was it south? I think it was south. We'll fly out a little bit. If not, we'll just start all over. But the reason why I'm doing this is to kind of show where the genesis of my idea came. Yep, there we are. Okay, good. All right, so what we have over here, this is what Monkey Farm designed for his mob trap. And initially I had kind of looked at doing something like this. And I think the reason why these are so popular is for the fact that it doesn't take a lot of resources. So if you look, the floor can be made with cobble, and you can even use cobble half slabs, and this is to prevent the spiders from spawning because they need a certain amount of space to be able to spawn in. And then over here above this you have a water block, or I mean a water source. And for this one, it's manually turned on. So you basically go down, flip a switch, or step on a plate, and it releases the water on all of the all four of these corners. And then of course you have multiple levels built up on top of each other, and it'll wash them all off. So at one time you'll get a large group of mobs. Then you turn the water off, let them respawn. Manual, but each floor takes 4 pistons and just some vertical wiring. Being that we're playing better than BuildCraft and have quarries, and if you looked in my chest over there, I've got like 25 or 30 stacks of iron that I haven't even smelted, that I haven't even transported back to the factory for smelting. So I'm not worried about that. Now the next thing is, let's go ahead and grab some different blocks here. The other design that I've been seeing built, and we'll start here. And you know what? Let's just fast forward to this being complete. Alright, so here is the new flavor of the month, we'll call it. And they call this the flow trap. And I don't know if it's exactly how they do it. This is just kind of how I did it and sort of throwing it together. Using like an AND gate on the back here. So we got the 2 pistons right there that are pushed up underneath the water. So it keeps the water from dropping. When any of these get power, the AND gate will turn off power, and so the pistons will retract, and then we'll end up with water in the trap. Trap is 7 spots long by 2 wide. If any of the pressure plates are stepped on, we'll activate it. Show this real fast. You can see that we got the redstone wire going under the length of it. I have siding, the stone siding over here to cover up the spot, because if you look up top, we are already set to put our next one over here. So we got our redstone wiring going across, put our pressure plates here, stick the pistons right here, or actually one above, and yeah, we can repeat it 3 high, 4 wide, infinitely repeatable, top and bottom. And basically the way it works, you step on a pressure plate, water's released, pushes you over the edge. Once you're over the edge, water goes away and you're good to go. Now, like I said before, the reason why I'm a little iffy on this design is because once something steps on it and the water flows, you're not going to be able to spawn anymore. Don't have any problem with light coming in that I'm aware of, so it shouldn't have any effects on the spawning area. See, we got all the redstone concealed, and I think this still conceals the light. But then again, the only time you're going to see redstone activated is when something stepped on it. So like I said, this doesn't take a lot of resources. Easy to make your pressure plates with a couple pieces of stone. Simply got redstone wire coming all the way to the back. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 redstone torches and 2 redstone repeaters. And it's probably there's probably a different way to make this. I would have to really look into how they did theirs. This is just kind of how I came up with doing mine, because the biggest issue was having power coming from both sides, and it didn't quite want to turn it off, because even if one pressure plate got stepped on one side, the other pressure plate wasn't, so it would still have power coming to it, and so they weren't wanting to turn off right. So using an AND gate, if either side got stepped on, it would remove power from both of them, and we get what we want. So, again, Nice design, works, easy to repeat, and using like the builder, if we built one of these, we could start building more of them side by side. Once we get a few of them together, build even more. Now with this, like the way I'm trying to do it in a square, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks wide, plus an extra one for the wall, so we're looking at 13. And then the two middle, well, the middle one, we'll call it 14, and then on the same side. So we're looking at 28, a 28 block square to have 7 spawning pads. And the idea I have is a 20 block square, and it's going to have 8 spawning pads on each one, although it will have a center one. So I have to do a little more math, but we'll kind of see which one has more spawning places and which one does a little better. That's this. Let me go ahead and quickly throw my other plan together real fast. So I will be right back for the other design. Design number 2. These are what we're what we're deciding between. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so here's our second design. Benefits to this one. It has no length difference. So as you can see, I built it with 8 here, but I can go as deep as I want it. Negative is the fact that, as you can see, it's a bit wider. It actually takes up 7 spaces. And how this one works is your typical. You got a pressure plate feeding into this through a repeater into this block, which is going to extend this sticky piston with a block on it. So if anything jumps up on top, it gets pushed into the hole. You already see I have a second one ready to go. Pressure plate, repeater, block, piston, block, going this way. So you can basically stack these high. Same thing as the one over here. 3 high, so they get the same height as each other. It doesn't use the lower one, but it doesn't have the... So it's the same height. Like I said, though, it's a little bit wider. However, you can fit more lengthwise, so this is one of those ones where length kind of makes up for width. So doing the math, this one is 13 wide, so add this becomes 14, and a block on the back becomes 15. So we're looking at, to make 2 of these across from each other, 30 blocks. So it's going to be a 30 by 30. Since we have, it takes up 4, couldn't quite fit 8 of these in a 30, well actually not even a 30 because it's really a 28 space. So we can fit about 7 of these wide, so 14 total. I think we could fit 14 on a single floor of a 30 by 30. Come over here, and like I said, we're looking at a 7 by 7, which is like twice as wide, although we can go in further in length. So for this one, and when I say, let's go back over to here, because I said we can fit 14 of these. So 14, but we only have what is it, 7? Yeah, 7 spawning pads times 2, so 14. So it's 14 spawning pads on each one, 14 total. So we do the math real fast, and we come up with a total of 196 spawning pads on a 30 by 30 space. Again, we come over here. Since it's 7 wide, figure 4 of these is going to give us a 28, plus the 1 wall for on the outside, although we could actually get away without having that because of the way this is built here. But for the sake of it, we'll go with a 30 by 30. We got 4 on each side, so it's a total of 8 spawning pads. But we're going to have quite a bit more, I think, on this one. So let's see. If we have 30 spaces, take away the 2 walls, leaves us with 28. Take away the 2 in the middle for the drop zone, leaves us with 26. Divide that by 2, means we have 13 spawning pads times 2, so 26 spawning pads for each one of those. And as we have 8 altogether, do the math real fast, that gives us 208 spawning pads on a 30 by 30. So we have the difference of 196, 208, so we're only talking about 12 extra spawning pads for this one compared to this one. This one has more side by side. This goes a lot longer. And let me find out a little information, some mob information, current mob information as far as how much will spawn into space. Because for items, maybe I'll have to have a kill switch set for... Ooh, I wonder... Interesting. I was wondering if you could use pistons to move vines, but I really doubt it. That hardly ever works. Just for a way of taking the vines out of the way so they would drop, and putting the vines in for when you're trying to collect experience. I doubt it'll work, but anyway, let me do some stuff here, and then I'll be back in a sec. Alrighty, so a couple things we figured out here. Number one, there is mathematics for the mobs. From what I understand, the mobs will spawn in a certain number of chunks surrounding the area. Any mobs that are outside of about 120 block radius from the player will despawn, which means it'll work for us because I think it's only like 100 square hole that we've got dug going around there, so we'll be fine there. Even if it was 200 squares, we'd be fine. And also height-wise will be good from the top down to the bottom, so nothing will despawn where we are. Looks like 79 hostile mobs is about the max that will spawn generically. You know, with the mob spawner, you're going to get a lot more, but generically, with what we're trying to do here, about 79 at a time. So, not sure how well it'll work for mob spawner, experience farm, other than, you know, if you're trying to kill 79 and they're spawning in a rapid motion, that's one thing. The thing is, can you get it to the kill area, or are they going to take a while in water? Which is one of those things where we'll have to see by standing in the central area with all the different areas coming towards us, they might actually go with the water and get there quicker. Also, with the new 1.3, when it gets out, they are planning on bringing ice picks back. Or ice, or silk touch, being able to pick up ice. In which case, for all of our water troughs bringing the mobs down, we can put ice at the bottom of those, and that will immensely speed up how quickly the mobs are going to get there. So that'll help too. And so we get enough of them moving, you know, at a time. We might actually still have enough coming down to, if we're killing them with, say, our sword or something like that, to, you know, kind of like with the Endermen, just keep swatting them and they'll just keep coming down. We'll see. With that though, here's where we are. This is our 30 by 30 square. Here's how we're going to be setting it out. And you see we have our spawning pads are with the pressure plates, so there's 24 on each one of these, 4 on each side, total of 8, so we're looking at actually about 192, which is a little less than I thought, but I think that was expecting to utilize this space here maybe. I'm not sure. And I could go all the way across and do this, but I don't want to have them dropping down, and I want them to all move towards the center, so I want to keep this open. So still, that's plenty of spawning pads, especially since we can do one of these every 3 levels, so we can stack it up quite a ways, and probably be able to cap out the maximum spawn rate really quickly. Then it'll just be how fast we can get them down. Over here you can see that we are going to be having them, this will be a finished one here, but the middle ones will come down and they're going to drop down 1 extra level. I don't want to take any chance of doing damage ahead of time. We want them to all be able to have the same final drop, which is going to be right here. This final drop will be the difference between 1 hit kill and just dead. So when they drop down there, that'll have them at that point. So yeah, so here's our different drop zones. Over here is how we're going to actually perform this. So let me get over the center, and you can see we have vines and buttons. So when they drop from a height up here, hits the vines, it slows them down. So no matter how high they are up in this, in the fact, they could be all the way, say, up this high, drop down. Well, that'll hurt them if they fall there. Center over the top here. There we go. Drop down, and they're going to catch the vines, fall into here. That'll take them down to this point. Ooh, we may have to drop this down one more level or change this. You know what? Actually, what we need to do is make this last one 8, which is fine. If we go back over here, I think I just need to take away one more, and then we'll start back over again. That should do it. All we got to do is make sure that the it ends at the ledge. There we go, just like that. That way, when you fall in, the current will pick us up and just take us right back down. Do they have ice blocks in creative? I should check this out, because if they do, I'm gonna go ahead and put some ice blocks down just to verify my theory that it'll cause the mobs to go quicker. And I bet you they don't. Diamond, snow. Oh, we do. All right, good. Okay, let me do this real fast. I'm going to change this. I'm going to put ice blocks on the bottom of here instead of the dirt or the stone, and then we'll see how much faster we move down. So hold on one sec. All right, blocks are replaced, so I'm not going to use my mouse or anything to control where I'm heading. I'm just going to stop flying. We'll drop down all the way at the back, I think. We'll get as much of a run on this as we can, and we'll see what happens here. So here we go. Oh, there we go. Definitely seems to be a little bit faster. Not too bad. Again, if we figure divide this by 4, so we're talking like 20 mobs at a time on each one of our things. I think we're definitely, if we flip the switch to full on kill, we'll be getting a ton more mobs, because with the amount of things here, I think we can get a lot of items coming down. But the cool thing is you can kind of get the picture of it. You got one over there, one over here, one over here, one over there. These will all be above the desert going up, with probably at least maybe 15 blocks above the desert floor will be the base of it. So you'll see the mobs dropping from the center hole through glass blocks going down, so you'll be able to see them. And then the break at the bottom, you know, however we decide to do it, to change it from being 24 to 25 blocks, that'll be underneath it. And at that point, there'll be another set of glass tunnels taking them all towards the center. And that's where we'll end up collecting. And I don't know if maybe we'll do something along the lines of like this. Let's see how we do this. We can kind of go like, see how that works. And then with the glass walls, say going up to here, and then here. I don't need to be that high. Let's see. I'm doing this right now because I've had this idea that I would like to have them all meet towards the center, and I think it would be cool to have the directional, the way we're sending them to their collection point in the middle, to be at an angle, because everything you always see always tends to be straight, just straight tunnels. And I'm getting confused now. That one goes there. There we go. Yep. Okay. So I think that'd work. Let's see. Only one way to find out, right? They're all going to drop down on a 4x4 area. So we got that coming up to here. And this is kind of my good idea for figure out how we're going to see if they die or not. Okay, so if we have it like this, and say we put water right here, I think it's just going to take them straight down. I don't think they'll get caught up in the corners. I don't think they can get caught up in the corners, even if they are. So we can take them down to the center from all four angles. One there, and they'll all actually meet in the middle. So that works. And then the idea too. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So let's say we have our water blocks here. We'll use ice to represent the water block. That's how it's coming all the way down here. Oof. Wait. That doesn't work. It's not going to do all four. Alright, give me a second. Let me check this out for a little bit. Alright, I think I've worked out something pretty good here. And I'm basing this on, and I'm really hoping I'm not wrong here, because if I am, that's going to be not as cool, but we can always work around it. But dropping into a one high block of water will not save you. I'm pretty positive that is the truth. So this here would be our kill level. So let's see down here, we have 2 levels of water here, and we have alternating pistons, one going up and then one going over. So and they're opposite. So when the switches are flip is switch. When the switch is flipped and this one retracts, the one on the bottom will push up. So it's only ever going to be one active. So either the bottom block will be gone or the top block will be gone. Now, when the bottom block's gone, these 4 areas here, as you see we've got pistons here, kind of like with the hibachis, no power activated with the power going through. So they will be in the lowered state. When we're flipped, however, and this pulls back, and the block down there pushes up, now the water's coming out this higher level, those 4 blocks will also lift up 1 level. So we're always still going to have 1 layer of water, and the reason for that is whether it's a mob or items, we want them pushed down towards our central collection point from all 4 directions. And then we can choose whether we kill or not. So as we watch over here, go a little bit higher, make sure I can reach that. A little lower, there we go. There you go. See how we got, now we're too high over there, you can see the pistons. This retracted, the one below extended. So now the water's coming out from one higher. We still got the one high water spot here, so they'll still take their damage when they drop, but it's going to be 1 less point of damage, or 1 less block fall. So this will be the survivable XP. Flip the switch, drops down, now they'll die. Not overly large, so still fairly compact. And again, this part will be underneath the surface, because we'll end up recovering the desert with sand. So it'll make it look like it's an actual desert with the 4 large traps coming up out of the sand, and the glass tubes 15 blocks high going down underneath. And then a little bit further underneath there is where this will be. This is going to be at the center, or I should say underneath here. That right there is going to be underneath here, and depending on the switch, and the switch will control all 4 of them. They'll all be interconnected. So we flip one switch at our central collection point, which if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, will be probably like around here underneath. So you flip the switch and then it'll go from either kill to experience. Yeah. This is starting to come along pretty well. I'm kind of excited for how this is going to turn out. I think once it goes to the kill mode, with the amount of spawning space over here and everything, we probably get pretty decent items per hour. It's not going to be the same as having the ginormous around like the back in the way they used to with like 50,000 items an hour or a minute or however, whatever craziness. I'm not looking at that, but we'll definitely have no more shortage of bones for stuff. Not that I really need them, but it'll be cool. In fact, I just think this right here is cool. I like this design. It'll take them, like I said, it'll take from all of these down to my central collection point inside the bottom of our mob farm. And we'll do this all in glass. This part here, of course, we won't because, having to be able to connect things to it, power and things like that. But the downward angled transport area, that will be glass, and probably more ice in the bottom once we have the ability to do that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Oh yeah, okay, there is one more thing we still have to work out, and that is how to stop spawning. So I do want an off switch, because with all the lag issues and stuff that I have already, the last thing I want is a mob farm going off that's spawning multiple mobs and pistons flapping back and forth when I don't need it, don't want it. So I do need to find a way to turn all these off. So let me brainstorm a little bit, come up with an idea. I mean, lava's one easy way, but then you have to make sure that it doesn't, end up on anything important. You have to wait for it to come down. I think the way to do this is going to be the the redstone blocks. What do we call those things? Redstone lamps. So yeah, I think we're going to do redstone lamps, and we can probably do it with vertical wiring. Setting them like right here. Won't. Have to see how far away I can get and have it still. If you're wondering why it's not dark, it doesn't get dark anymore. Optifine gives you the ability to turn off weather and nighttime in your creative mode. So when you're over here working on stuff, it doesn't get dark anymore. It's always noon, and it never rains, so I don't have to worry about that when I'm trying to do planning and stuff. So yeah, if I put one of these here and one of these here, I may go 4 blocks between each level just for the sake of vertical wiring. Out of curiosity. More experimenting. Humor me here. Alright. Just so we can see what we're doing here. So that's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Now, can I put a redstone torch on top? I can. Ooh, this has possibilities. 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. That's what I'm wanting to. I want to make sure they're all on or off at the same time. Okay. So now, if we come over here, put in a repeater going in. Oh yeah. All right. That'll work. That will work. So, well, instead, I mean, I had planned on only needing to go 3 high for these, but if I go 4 high, that will allow me to put the redstone torches on here. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Only issue is redstone light will keep mobs from spawning, I think. Alright, let me do some research on that. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so the outside of our building just changed. And I don't think it's going to actually hurt things. I think it's not going to be that bad to have a little bit of texture to the outside. It'll be going all the way around on the sides. Reason for that is there. So that'll give us our light there. And we'll do the same thing over here. And now I'm glad I had that extra space in there because I can run my redstone up just like I'm like over here. At least I'm pretty sure. Too easy. Let's find out. Let's make sure they won't affect each other, because that would be a key component in this working right. Let's see. Okay. Oops. So it'll be like that. Torch is there. Looks like it won't affect it at all. Do it again. There we go. Cool. And then, of course, all we got to do to test the turning off, we'll put a torch there. That one and they work independently of each other. But not that I want them to work, but I just want to make sure they don't interfere with each other. All right, so that and that, and they are both off. All right, so I think that's the last of my questions on design style. So we'll be able to, we're going to go with this design. The Those will be stacked on top of each other for each, so there'll be like a little extra space at the top of each one. At the bottom, we will have this catching them. Got a little vine break there. Buttons are there to keep the vines from going further down, so it stops them just there. Flowing over here, down to here. Once they come through there, they'll land on this 4 blocks right here. Switch will allow us to choose whether to kill them or to harvest them for experience. Vertical wiring just like this, only encased in there so we don't affect them. Reason why I'm doing this is redstone torches do have a light level of 7, and it will not prevent them from spawning. But let me read what Wiki said again. It says it will not prevent mobs from spawning, though one will decrease the probability of a mob spawning. And that would be a bad thing. We don't want to decrease probability, so we want to have them at full force. So by doing it this way, each one of these pods here will be completely enclosed in darkness. Perfect spawning conditions for them. Yep. Then we'll have all these interconnected. I'll figure out a way how I want to do that to interconnect all of these. So flip of a switch will turn all of these on in all 4 spawners. So we'll stop spawning with one single switch. And then when we're ready, we flip it to the other direction. And it'll all be controlled from our central harvesting area down here. I say the last of my design things, but I guess I am incorrect on that. You know what? Let me put together my collection area too. While I'm at it, you know, since I'm doing all my designing here, let's throw something together here real fast. Hold on. All right. Well, I think this will work right here. Again, we're using our angled water trough, water ditch to bring the mobs down to our central area. So the mob comes down here. Water takes them down to the middle. We got break there to stop the water from coming down. Water over here to push them all towards this edge here, which is where you'll be standing anyway. And then over here, nice little indent in the wall. So we can stand over here and attack them if we want with a sword. They shouldn't be able to hit us with arrows or anything like that. Or stand back and throw a potion of harming, splash potion of harming, however we want to do that if we want to, and kill them as well. Because the water's pushing it out, and we can walk right up to here, easily to grab all of our items. And that, yeah, I think that'll do. That's going to be the last of our design, I think. So now we just have to actually implement it. And I do like how this is turning out. Somewhere down here, I'll probably make like the collection room. Maybe this will be an entire room here. Stack up stacks of chests around all the way around the room, so we can keep all of our items, and then have somewhere along the line our 2 switches. Again, switch 1 will be for lights, Switch 2 will be for our kill slash live. And we can put both those over here somewhere around here. Flip the switch one, I'll have signage for it. But you basically just hang out here, flip the switch, wait for them to start dropping. Splash potion to kill them, sword to kill them, whichever. Or flip the switch for items. Stand right here, AFK, until your inventory fills up. And enjoy. Huh. Yeah, I like this. Big, a lot of work ahead of me, but I like it. I think this is going to look pretty cool. And I think, using the sandstone, we'll probably may have to throw in some hieroglyphics. Some of the other, dang it, getting ahead of myself. 1.2.5 isn't out. I don't have those yet. But maybe when they do, I can go back and add some things, like maybe along the bottom layer or something, put some of the different type of blocks in. And then, of course, overhang along the top. Make sure we have some ivy coming down to give it kind of an old temple, jungle temple kind of looks to it coming down. That'd be cool. And then right in the middle of all four of them, above where this is going to be, will be the entrance to come down, and it'll be a giant spiral stair taking you all the way to the bottom, and eventually it'll come over to this area, and we'll make it so it somehow kind of fits in through here and goes around. So this will all be glass. You'll kind of go around, above one, and then under the other one, and then yeah, and that'll get us all the way to the bottom. Or we'll figure something out. We'll make it cool. And then it'll take you down to your collection point. And because we'll be in the center, we'll be within range for all the mobs to spawn. And hopefully just being here, if they sense us, maybe it'll help them to fight less against the current. So maybe they'll be a little quicker in getting towards us. But I guess it's going to look pretty cool. So I think that will be the end of this episode. This is our planning one. These are our designs. This is what we're going to do. The next episode, and I'm imagining we're probably already gone a little bit long just in this part, but our next episode, we'll go ahead and we'll start to construct our first leg of this. So we'll get the spacing figured out. Key component in spacing is figuring out, first of all, from the drop here, because we have to go obviously 24 or 25 down to this point, and then from there it's got to make it down to our collection point, and the collection point should be towards the bottom. Maybe we'll a little bit higher just to avoid the void fog. So we still have to figure out our spacing and distances, find out from the center of here, from all four of those to get to the center, with dropping a block each thing, how far apart they have to be, lengthwise, height-wise. So yeah, I still got a little bit of stuff to work out, but that, like I said, that'll be our next episode. I'll probably figure that out on my own, do a little kind of pre-staging and pre-planning of what my spacing's going to be. So when we start the next episode, we can kick right off and start getting into some building. And then of course we'll also have the base floor done on the quarry, so we won't have to worry about that. That'll be taken care of. I'll just let that run tonight, and then we'll see move the filler and fill in the other areas, so that'll all be taken care of. So, all right. Well, that is an episode. I'm excited about this. I really can't wait to see how this turns out. I think it's going to look pretty fantastic, and hopefully we'll be actually very productive. I'm hoping, like in the kill mode, with them dying, that this, if we were to get, say, 70, 80 mobs spawning, every minute or so, that's quite a bit of items and loot, or items and loot. So should do a pretty good job on giving us some of the items we've been lacking. And in addition, with the zombies, I get a lot of zombie meat. I can rebuild my my dog kennel, which is another thing I need to do. I need to rebuild the dog kennel. Probably put that down in the factory, down in one of my corners, and then I can use all the zombie flesh to feed them. That way I don't have to use meat. Even though I have a lot of beef, I won't have to. So, alright. Well, if you have any suggestions on this, like, you know, maybe something jogged your memory as you're going through this, feel free to leave me a comment if you, as far as how this is, or if you have any other questions on, you know, what I plan on doing or how I'm doing this. I'm always more than happy to answer any questions. So speaking of that, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Um, Give me a like if you enjoyed this. Suggest this to your friends if you have any other people that play Minecraft or something like that. Get them excited about the Better Than BuildCraft mod. I think more people are starting to discover this and getting excited. While it's not Better Than BuildCraft, even MC Crawl now has started a new Let's Play featuring just the Better Than Wolves. But again, these mods are a lot of fun to play with. So yeah, go ahead and leave me a comment, give me a like, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of my fun builds that I have planned. Like I said, this was one of my exciting ones I was looking forward to, but it's not the only one. I've got some other big plans that I've got ahead. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll know as soon as I put out another video. I also have some footage that I've been working on for my SMP series as well. So I'll probably get another one of those episodes coming out here before too much longer as well. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.